exposing the truth hidden behind it all. But this isn't just ordinary drama. This is a scandal that will open everyone's eyes and shake every mind. Morgan Wade, long considered Kyle's best friend, is now part of this story, and alongside Mauricio Umansky. It's a narrative that surpasses every standard of Hollywood gossip. Did Kyle Richards really just reveal the most hidden secrets of her life to the world? Is this a tragic tale of love gone wrong, or a full-blown betrayal? Today, we're uncovering everything that was hidden between Mauricio Umansky and Morgan Wade. The secrets that became unbearable for Kyle Richards. And the moments when every social media post, every loving photo was nothing but a performance. Get ready, because this story is about to change everything you thought you knew about Kyle and Mauricio. The truth, the real, unfiltered truth about Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky is finally out. And believe me, it's nothing anyone could have predicted. For decades, the world has watched them smile on red carpets, pose for glossy magazine covers, and post those picture-perfect Instagram moments that screamed relationship goals. But behind those curated smiles, behind every perfectly staged family photo, there was a storm brewing, a storm so massive, so messy, the public had no idea what was really happening behind closed doors. Kyle Richards, the woman who was always admired for her grace, elegance, and loyalty, has finally broken her silence. And the story she is telling isn't just about a broken marriage, it's about betrayal, secrets, and a deception so elaborate it almost reads like a Hollywood screenplay. Mauricio Umansky, with his suave demeanor and billion-dollar real estate empire, always seemed untouchable. To the public, he was the perfect husband, the supportive partner, the man every reality TV fan envied. But Kyle Richards has revealed that the image of perfection was exactly that, an image, a performance, a carefully constructed illusion designed to keep the world from seeing the cracks. According to sources close to Kyle, the cracks weren't small. They were gaping, dangerous, and growing over years. And the biggest, most shocking crack of all, Mauricio's secret entanglement with Morgan Wade, someone Kyle trusted with her life, someone she believed was family, someone she called her best friend. The betrayal cuts deeper than anyone could imagine. Imagine discovering that the person you have shared almost 3 decades of your life with, the person whose hand you held through social appearances, whose laugh echoed alongside yours in every staged photo, had been hiding a life that contradicted everything you thought you knew. Morgan Wade, always smiling, always appearing loyal and supportive, was allegedly part of a clandestine affair, the kind of affair that doesn't just happen overnight. Kyle claims it was orchestrated over months, with stolen moments, secret messages, and hidden rendezvous, all meticulously concealed from anyone who might have exposed the truth. For Kyle, the hardest part wasn't just the affair itself. It was the betrayal by a friend. Morgan Wade was not a stranger or a casual acquaintance. She was someone—
Thanks for watching. Watch more clips here and subscribe to our channel here. See ya.
Confided in, someone she shared personal milestones with, someone who Kyle trusted implicitly. And while Kyle was building a life, raising her children, maintaining her empire, and navigating the pressures of Hollywood's constant spotlight, Mauricio and Morgan allegedly wove a story behind her back that would eventually unravel everything. Kyle thought she knew about love, loyalty, and trust. Sources tell us that the affair was not limited to stolen glances or whispered secrets. Kyle has reportedly obtained private photos, text messages, and evidence that show a pattern of deception that spans months, if not years. Friends of Kyle's describe her discovery as devastating, surreal, and humiliating. And insiders confirm that the moment she found out, there was no turning back. The marriage, which had already been under strain due to long-distance demands, career pressures, and lifestyle differences, reached a tipping point. What was once manageable tension became an irreparable rupture. And yet, despite the chaos behind the scenes, Kyle and Mauricio continued to present a united front. They appeared together on every red carpet, smiled for every camera, and maintained what the public perceived as a perfect marriage. Why? Because Hollywood doesn't forgive cracks in the facade. Public appearances, social media posts, and magazine spreads were all part of a performance, one that Kyle herself was now ready to end. Every loving Instagram photo, every tender moment captured for public consumption, is now being re-examined under the light of this revelation. What looked like love, warmth, and mutual respect was, according to Kyle, carefully orchestrated to conceal the reality. A man whose loyalties were divided, whose affections were misdirected, and whose actions had finally forced a confrontation that could no longer be ignored. The custody arrangement for their children also adds another layer of complexity. Mauricio reportedly finalized a plan granting Kyle 306 days per year with the children, leaving him only 59 days. The lopsided custody schedule speaks volumes, not just about the practical logistics of the separation, but about the power dynamics, the emotional stakes, and the recognition of where primary caregiving responsibilities would lie. Sources say that Kyle's role as the primary custodial parent was non-negotiable, and the divorce itself was the culmination of months of planning, negotiation, and legal maneuvering. Yet even as legal battles were quietly unfolding, Mauricio continued to maintain appearances, attending social events with Kyle, laughing for cameras, and perpetuating the illusion of marital bliss. Public reaction, of course, has been mixed. Fans of the Real Housewives franchise were shocked when news first broke, unable to reconcile the images of a loving couple with the allegations of infidelity and betrayal. Online forums, gossip pages, and social media feeds erupted with speculation. Was Mauricio truly guilty? Was Morgan Wade complicit in undermining a decades-long marriage? And perhaps most importantly, what drove Kyle Richards to finally break her silence now? After years of maintaining privacy and discretion, for many, the answers are still unfolding. But insiders hint that Kyle's decision was strategic, calculated, and cathartic, a way to reclaim her narrative before it was distorted by outside sources. In Hollywood, of course, nothing stays secret for long. Whispers about the affair had circulated for months, buried beneath red carpet glamour and carefully curated public statements. But with the leaks, private texts, clandestine photos, and even recordings of conversations, the story could no longer be contained. Kyle reportedly confronted Mauricio, demanded transparency, and eventually realized that the life they presented to the world was incompatible with the reality she was living. The final straw, according to sources, was the realization that Morgan Wade was not just a passing interest, but a recurring presence in Mauricio's life, undermining the trust Kyle had placed not only in her husband, but in a friend she considered family. The timing of Kyle's revelation is also telling. After the legal custody plan was finalized in July 2023, Kyle reportedly felt empowered to speak out. The arrangement not only secured her position as the primary parent, but also provided a framework for her to reclaim her personal life without jeopardizing her children's stability. It was a move that demonstrated foresight, strategy, and resilience, qualities Kyle Richards has long been admired for, but ones that the public rarely sees in their full context. This was not a spontaneous confession or a reactive outburst. It was a deliberate, calculated exposure of a scandal that had festered in silence for far too long. And let's not forget the psychological toll. Sources close to Kyle describe her as devastated but resolute, someone who has endured years of stress, emotional manipulation, and the pressure of maintaining a public persona while privately grappling with betrayal. Friends say she struggled with sleepless nights, anxiety, and the impossible balancing act of motherhood, career, and the personal heartbreak of discovering infidelity at the hands of someone she trusted implicitly. Every Instagram post that seemed joyful, every laugh captured in glossy magazine spreads, was now being reinterpreted as a mask, a defense mechanism, a way to navigate a world that demanded composure in the face of personal chaos. And yet, despite the heartbreak, Kyle's decision to speak out is being seen by many as courageous. In a society that often values image over authenticity, where celebrity scandals are commodified and sensationalized, Her willingness to break the silence reveal the hidden truths and confront both Mauricio and Morgan publicly is nothing short of extraordinary. Sources say that she intends not only to expose the betrayal, but also to reclaim her narrative, her dignity, and her autonomy, all while navigating the treacherous waters of Hollywood scrutiny. As we follow this story, one thing becomes clear. The Kyle Richards-Mauricio Umansky scandal is more than just an affair. It is a story of deception, power, manipulation, and the impossible expectations placed on public figures to maintain a perfect image at all costs. It is a cautionary tale, a behind-the-scenes look at how appearances can be deceiving, and a stark reminder that even the most glamorous riages can conceal profound, heart-wrenching secrets. And the final twist. The revelation that someone Kyle called her best friend may have played a central role in this betrayal adds a layer of emotional complexity that few can comprehend. This, my friends, is just the beginning. As Kyle Richards continues to break her silence, the world will be forced to confront uncomfortable questions about trust, loyalty, and the fine line between public performance and private reality. Every post, every photo, every public appearance will be re-examined under this new lens. And nothing will look the same again. The drama, the scandal, and the heartbreak are only intensifying. And by the end of this series, the audience will have witnessed not just a broken marriage, but a full-scale unraveling of one of Hollywood's most tightly held illusions as the details of the scandal began to surface. Insiders claim the web of secrets surrounding Mauricio Umansky and Morgan Wade was far more intricate than anyone could have guessed. This was not simply a fleeting affair, a momentary lapse in judgment. According to sources who have reportedly seen messages and private exchanges, this was a calculated, ongoing deception, carefully orchestrated to avoid detection. The alleged communications paint a picture of a man whose charm and affluence masked a willingness to manipulate those closest to him, and a friend whose loyalties were, perhaps, not as steadfast as they appeared. Every secret dinner, every clandestine meeting, every whisper behind closed doors now comes into focus, revealing a pattern of betrayal that has left Hollywood insiders stunned. Multiple anonymous sources familiar with the situation have shared shocking details about the lengths to which Mauricio allegedly went to maintain this double life. Luxury hotel suites booked under aliases, late-night private jets, and coded messages hidden within seemingly innocuous texts, all suggest a level of planning and secrecy that goes beyond ordinary infidelity. Insiders even describe extravagant gifts sent to Morgan Wade, gifts that reportedly included designer items and lavish experiences, all while publicly portraying Mauricio as the devoted husband. To the casual observer, Mauricio was attending charity galas and real estate openings, posing alongside Kyle, smiling for the cameras, and offering the illusion of marital bliss. Behind the scenes, however, these sources allege the story was far more sordid, far more calculated. The public reaction, as one might expect, has been a mixture of shock, disbelief, and outrage. Social media erupted as snippets of leaked messages began circulating online, with fans dissecting every detail, every implication, and every possible motive. Some commenters expressed sympathy for Kyle, praising her bravery in finally revealing what had been concealed for so long. Others, more skeptical, questioned the authenticity of the leaks, speculating whether this revelation was timed for maximum publicity, strategic move in the ongoing narrative of celebrity drama. Yet despite the debates, the emotional weight of the situation is undeniable. And it's clear that the world has rarely seen a scandal that blends betrayal, friendship, and celebrity status with such explosive intensity. Even more striking are the reactions from those within the inner circle of the Real Housewives universe. Multiple unnamed sources claim that the show's producers and cast members were aware, to some degree, of tensions between Kyle and Mauricio, but had no idea of the full scope of the alleged betrayal. Whispers of arguments, off-camera, sudden travel schedules, and unexplained absences had been noticed, but until Kyle's revelation, the public, and perhaps even the closest friends, were in the dark. The shockwaves are reportedly still being felt among those who considered themselves confidants, as the betrayal was not only marital but also personal, reaching into the domain of friendship and trust. In addition to emotional fallout, there have been reported financial ramifications. Sources allege that Mauricio's lifestyle choices, secret trips, expensive gifts, and hidden indulgences were sometimes funded in ways that may now attract scrutiny, especially given the high-profile nature of his real estate ventures. While no formal investigations have been announced, insiders speculate that financial auditors, estate managers, and legal advisors are quietly reviewing transactions to determine if any irregularities occurred. Whether this is a matter of personal accountability or potential legal exposure remains unclear, but the mere possibility adds yet another layer of tension to an already volatile scenario. Leaked messages, according to those who claim to have seen them, reveal an ongoing dialogue between Mauricio and Morgan that went far beyond casual flirting. There are reports of elaborate plans to coordinate encounters, coded language to avoid suspicion, and repeated affirmations of affection that, if verified, paint a portrait of sustained deception. Meanwhile, Kyle is said to have documented every discovery meticulously, from screenshots to detailed notes, as if preparing for the moment she would confront Mauricio and reclaim the narrative. Sources close to Kyle describe her as methodical, determined, and unrelenting. Someone who approached the revelation not as a public spectacle, but as a necessary act of self-preservation and empowerment. The implications for Morgan Wade are equally dramatic. Once celebrated as Kyle's confidant and ally, she now faces the court of public opinion, where loyalty and betrayal are weighed heavily. Online discussions are polarized, with some suggesting Morgan was manipulated or coerced, while others accuse her of active participation in the deception. Regardless of intent, her name is now permanently intertwined with one of the most explosive celebrity scandals of recent memory. Reality TV fans, social media commentators, and tabloid journalists are all speculating on her future within the entertainment sphere, questioning whether she can recover her reputation after being implicated in what some are calling a Hollywood betrayal of epic proportions. Meanwhile, Kyle's decision to come forward has set off a chain reaction in the celebrity gossip ecosystem. Talk shows, news outlets, and online forums are dissecting every public appearance, every social media post, and every interview for new clues. Analysts speculate on the timing, the motives, and the broader implications of the revelations. Was this an act of courage, a reclaiming of personal narrative, or a calculated career move? For many, the answers are less important than the story itself, the drama, the suspense, and the emotional roller coaster that comes with watching a seemingly perfect couple unravel before the world's eyes. The emotional toll is compounded by the public nature of the revelation. Unlike private betrayals that remain hidden, Kyle's disclosure ensures that every detail is scrutinized, every reaction magnified, and every decision debated endlessly. Family, friends, and colleagues are all impacted, some siding with Kyle, others with Mauricio, and yet others choosing to stay neutral while quietly observing the unfolding spectacle. The sheer intensity of public engagement adds pressure, turning what might have been a personal heartbreak into a global conversation, a social media phenomenon, and a media storm that shows no signs of abating. Even the legal angle cannot be ignored. While no formal lawsuits related to the affair itself have been reported, the divorce proceedings, custody arrangements, and potential financial audits suggest that the consequences may extend far beyond personal grievances. Experts predict that any missteps or oversights in financial management, especially in high-value real estate holdings, could attract legal attention. While this is speculative, the potential for cascading repercussions from civil litigation to public investigations is enough to keep industry insiders on edge, further fueling speculation and debate. Throughout all of this, Kyle Richards has emerged not just as a victim, but as a powerful, strategic actor in her own story. Her decision to reveal the scandal, to share her side of the narrative, and to document the betrayal demonstrates a level of agency that contrasts sharply with the image of helplessness often portrayed in celebrity gossip. Kyle is reclaiming control, redefining the terms of engagement, and ensuring that the world understands the complexity, depth, and gravity of the situation she has endured. In a world obsessed with optics, social media impressions, and the cult of celebrity, this is no small feat. And yet, the story continues to evolve. Every day seems to bring new leaks, new rumors, and new reactions. Friends who once seemed loyal are now distant. Social media followers debate the veracity of every claim. And the tabloids are relentless in their pursuit of additional evidence. Kyle's revelation has created a ripple effect, prompting others within her circle to reconsider their own alliances, quest past interactions, and assess the integrity of the people they have trusted. The scandal, once contained to a private circle, has metastasized into a public spectacle, one that continues to grow in intensity and complexity as the world watches. The Kyle Richards-Mauricio Umansky-Morgan-Wade saga has become a masterclass in modern celebrity scandal, a potent mix of betrayal, secrecy, emotional complexity, and public scrutiny. Every revelation seems to raise more questions than answers, and every new piece of evidence adds another layer to an already intricate narrative. The line between personal heartbreak and public drama has blurred completely, and the impact on those involved emotionally, socially, and professionally is profound. And just when it seemed like the story could not become any more explosive, insiders hint at further complications, suggesting that Mauricio's actions may have had wider repercussions than previously imagined. Alleged business distractions, secretive financial maneuvers, and interpersonal conflicts within his professional network have all reportedly emerged in the wake of Kyle's disclosures. Whether these are direct consequences or circumstantial coincidences remains to be seen. But the mere suggestion of cascading fallout adds yet another dimension to a scandal that already seemed limitless. The emotional resonance of Kyle's revelation is also magnified by the longevity of her marriage. 27 years is not a trivial amount of time. It's nearly 3 decades of shared experiences, memories, and intertwined lives. To have that foundation shaken by betrayal, secrecy, and deception is devastating. Friends and observers alike have described the situation as heartbreaking on a scale rarely seen in Hollywood, emphasizing that the impact goes far beyond mere gossip or tabloid fodder. This is a deeply human story, one of trust violated and lives irrevocably changed. The question now, as the saga continues to unfold, is what the long-term consequences will be, not just for Kyle, Mauricio, and Morgan, but for the broader public perception of celebrity marriages, friendships, and loyalty. Will Mauricio attempt to repair his reputation, or will the revelations permanently damage his social and professional standing? Will Morgan Wade be able to navigate the fallout and redefine her public image, or is this a scandal from which she cannot recover? And most importantly, how will Kyle Richards continue to assert control over her narrative, protect her family, and rebuild her life after a betrayal of this magnitude? The answers remain uncertain, but one thing is clear. The Kyle Richards scandal has captivated the world, challenged perceptions of celebrity relationships, and exposed the hidden realities behind the glamorous images that have dominated headlines for decades. And as we prepare to examine the final phase of this saga, the fallout, the consequences, and the ultimate resolution, it becomes increasingly apparent that this story is far from over. The drama, the intrigue, and the revelations are only intensifying, setting the stage for what promises to be one of the most talked about celebrity scandals in recent memory. As the Kyle Richards-Mauricio Umansky-Morgan-Wade scandal continues to unfold, the consequences are beginning to ripple through every corner of Hollywood. Friends, colleagues, and even casual fans are now forced to reassess what they thought they knew about one of the most admired celebrity couples in reality TV history. The fallout is not just emotional. It is financial, professional, and potentially legal. Sources close to Kyle indicate that she is pursuing every avenue to ensure that her voice is heard and that justice, in whatever form she deems appropriate, is achieved. There are whispers of further investigations into Mauricio's business dealings, with insiders suggesting that the revelation of secret expenditures, clandestine trips, and potential misuse of company resources could draw scrutiny from auditors and legal teams alike. The stakes are higher than anyone could have imagined, and the tension is palpable. Meanwhile, public backlash has been swift and unforgiving. Social media platforms are ablaze with commentary, speculation, and outrage. Fans who once idolized Mauricio for his business acumen and charm are now questioning every past action, every professional decision, and every red carpet appearance. The court of public opinion is relentless, and Mauricio finds himself navigating a minefield of criticism, mockery, and disbelief. Memes, viral posts, and trending hashtags have made this scandal impossible to ignore, creating a digital storm that continues to grow by the hour. Meanwhile, Morgan Wade's reputation is under siege as well, with debates raging online about whether she was a willing participant, a manipulated accomplice, or an innocent bystander caught in a web she could not control. Regardless of the truth, the perception is devastating, and the media coverage shows no sign of slowing. Legal experts speculate that the fallout could extend beyond public humiliation. While Kyle and Mauricio's divorce is already finalized with a custody arrangement heavily favoring Kyle, there may be room for additional legal actions, ranging from financial settlements to potential scrutiny of Mauricio's business conduct. Lawyers familiar with high-profile celebrity divorces suggest that hidden assets, misappropriated funds, or undisclosed financial commitments could be relevant, especially in light of the alleged affair and lavish spending. Even if no formal charges are filed, the potential for prolonged legal disputes is high, and the resulting stress on all parties involved is almost certainly immense. Kyle's meticulous documentation of the affair, combined with evidence of the financial discrepancies, positions her strongly in any potential legal challenges, though Mauricio's team is reportedly mobilizing to mitigate the damage. The emotional fallout continues to dominate headlines. Sources describe Kyle as resolute and empowered, determined to protect her children and reclaim control over her personal narrative. Her public statements, carefully measured and strategically timed, have resonated with fans who praise her for her courage and transparency. Meanwhile, Mauricio is said to be struggling privately, with close friends noting that he is deeply shaken by the revelations and the overwhelming scrutiny. The contrast between Kyle's composed determination and Mauricio's reportedly chaotic response paints a vivid picture of a relationship that has completely unraveled, leaving no room for reconciliation or illusion. This dynamic is fueling speculation about further revelations, as insiders hint that Kyle may have more to disclose, strategically keeping the audience engaged and the story alive in public discourse. From a social perspective, the scandal is reshaping the narrative around celebrity relationships, trust, and the boundaries of privacy. Reality TV fans are dissecting every social media post, Instagram story, and public appearance for hidden clues, while gossip outlets are publishing daily updates, analyses, and expert commentary. Shows like Bravo's talk segments, VH1 panels, and online entertainment news channels have devoted hours to speculation, debate, and opinion, turning this scandal into a cultural touchstone for discussions about fidelity, loyalty, and power dynamics in high-profile relationships. The story's resonance is amplified by the fact that it involves not only infidelity, but also the betrayal of a trusted friend, creating layers of emotional complexity that have captivated audiences worldwide. Insiders also hint at a psychological dimension that cannot be ignored. The prolonged secrecy, the hidden rendezvous, and the betrayal by a close friend are said to have taken a significant toll on Kyle, who has had to balance public appearances with private anguish. Friends describe moments of intense emotion, sleepless nights, and the immense burden of maintaining composure while managing her personal life, her children, and the glare of public attention. The drama is not just external. It is deeply internal, highlighting the human cost of betrayal in an environment where privacy is scarce and scrutiny is relentless. Kyle's resilience, therefore, becomes a focal point, demonstrating a remarkable capacity to navigate both personal heartbreak and public spectacle simultaneously. Even Mauricio's professional image is at risk. Rumors circulate that potential business partners and clients are reconsidering their associations, concerned about the negative publicity and the unpredictability introduced by the scandal. While Mauricio's real estate empire remains intact, insiders caution that the long-term effects of reputation damage can be profound. It's potentially impacting partnerships, deals, and investor confidence. In the world of high-profile business, perception often carries as much weight as reality, and Mauricio now faces the challenge of managing both the narrative and the consequences of his private actions being exposed to a global audience. Morgan Wade, for her part, is facing a complex web of scrutiny. Formerly celebrated as a loyal friend, she is now perceived by some as complicit in the betrayal, while others argue she was caught in circumstances beyond her control. Regardless, her involvement has irrevocably altered her public persona. Social media debates, tabloid speculation, and industry gossip converge to create a high-pressure environment in which her every move is monitored, analyzed, and interpreted. The consequences of her association with Mauricio, coupled with Kyle's revelations, are likely to follow her for years to come, influencing both her personal and professional trajectory as the scandal continues to unfold. Experts predict that this story may have long-term ramifications for the reality TV landscape. Producers, network executives, cast members are reportedly reassessing the dynamics of on-screen relationships, the authenticity of friendships, and the management of private conflicts. The Kyle Richards saga has exposed vulnerabilities in the carefully curated worlds of reality television, demonstrating how quickly behind-the-scenes drama can spill into public view and disrupt established narratives. This awareness is influencing not only production strategies but also public expectations, reshaping the way audiences perceive celebrity relationships and on-screen personas. Ultimately, the fallout of this scandal is multifaceted, encompassing emotional devastation, public scrutiny, legal considerations, and reputational risk. Kyle Richards has emerged as both a central figure and a catalyst, forcing a confrontation with